one is shutter speed. It is the time the shutter is open. The faster the speed, the shorter the time the shutter is open. And the shorter the time the image sensor is exposed to light. The second one is film speed ISO dial. ISO refers to the sensitivity, the signal gain of the camera sensor. The ISO setting is one of three elements used to control exposure. Film advance lever is a mechanism for moving film from one spool to another, incrementally one frame at a time. Frame counter, an indicator in roll film cameras that shows the number of frames that have moved through the camera. Neck strap eyelet, a small hole used as an attachment point for a strap or string, a camera accessory which allows the camera to be carried securely. Self-timer lever. It gives a delay between pressing the shutter release and the shutter firing. Lens release button. Press this button to unlock the lens. Mount and detach the lens by rotating it. Hot shoe contact is a mounting point on the top of a camera to attach a flash unit and other compatible accessories. Film rewind crank. It's flipped out of the knob using the lever. The knob is spun usually clockwise and the film is rewound. Film rewind knob. A knob rewinds the film back into the film cassette, the casing of the camera which hold the encloses the camera pads. Film speed window is the measure of photographic film sensitivity to light, determined by sensitometry and measured on various numerical scales, the most recent being the ISO system. Aperture ring, a camera part that lets you adjust the size of the aperture. Distance scale, marking indicating the distance from the lens where object will appear in focus. Focusing ring, this is a ring on the lens body, which moves the lens element inside the lens. Depth of field, preview lever. It helps you determine what photos will look like before the image has been taken. Multiple exposure lever. Making two or more exposure on the same frame is an exciting technique. After making the first exposure, do not turn the film advance lever, but return it to its extracted position close to the camera body. Exposure measurement button. This button allows to select the types of exposure, metering together with the main command dial at the back. Viewfinder eyepiece, an easy-to-use viewing and focusing aid which allow near and far-sighted photographers to view the finder image accurately without wearing eyeglasses. Rewind port, the prong inside the camera back that pokes inside the film cassette to rewind the film. Film cartridge chamber, a cartridge chamber at the rear part of camera into which a film cartridge is to be loaded. Battery chamber lid is a battery chamber cover. Tripod socket, it is used to screw the tripod socket. Film guide rails, each of the flat metal rails on both sides of the focal plane shutter. The taut film travels along them. Film sprockets, the functional in photography is to hook onto your camera's winder when you load the film. Camera back, a part of SLR which cover the back part of 35mm SLR camera body. Film pressure plate. The pressure plate holds the film in place in between the inner rails and presses it down so that it is relatively flat. Film rewind button, a rewind release button, disengage the gears on the take-up spool and the winding sprocket. Film take-up spool, it pulls the film along so an exposed film can be placed behind the shutter. Film cartridge window, a part of 35mm SLR camera, usually located at the rear part where you can see if the camera is loaded with film. Parts of a digital camera. A built-in flash is the part of the camera anatomy that produces a burst of light when triggered. The built-in flash fires only when the camera takes a picture. Its main functionality is to force the flash to open before triggered. The use of BKT button to choose the bracketing, increment, and number of shots in the bracketing program. It is used to remotely activate the shutter and take a photo. The mount mark is the part that joins the camera body and the lens. The built-in mic on a camera is designed to pick up a wide range of sounds, which can often result in poor sound quality. The lens release button unlocks the lens mount and allows you to detach the lens. Connector covers are protective enclosure design or electrical connector to ensure their integrity and functionality. Camera access. Point mode is a connection mode for connecting the camera directly to each device via a wireless connection without using an access point. The focus mode. Selector to choose how the camera focuses. Lenses work similarly to the human eye and allow you to control the amount of light that enters your camera. The use of a mirror is to reflect light from the lens to the optical viewfinder. When a photo is taken, the mirror flips up to allow lights onto the image sensor. The USB connector allows you to print image taken with a digital camera by connecting the camera directly to the USB connector. The AV out connector. This digital camera port is used to display its content on TVs that have composite video inputs. The HDMI connector can output image videos from a digital camera or camcorder to the TV during playback. Connector for external. Microphone is a standard for transferring balanced audio among professional audio equipment.